guys, it's Sonia Miller here of Junk Monkey Paint Company. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for being here on these vlogs when I upload them on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. They are just behind the scenes nuggets of things that are going on here at the Junk Monkey and also based on, for example, questions that I get from you guys. And so today I'm sitting on the floor here at my shop. It's real time here if you are watching on Wednesday night. This is what I'm doing here earlier Wednesday. And just finishing up this beautiful piece that I did yesterday. Who saw it over on our Facebook channel? If you're not following me over there, you have to, because you saw this entire transformation go down, okay? So I titled this video, Why and How to Use Scrapbook Paper in Your Furniture Flip Projects, Decor, anything like that, mixed media. So I want to talk about that today, and I got some questions from you guys that I want to answer, okay? But I am a big proponent, as you can see here, of adding in pretty papers, whether it be napkins, scrapbook paper, designer paper, wallpaper, all those sorts of things. And by the way, I have a vlog here on my channel of how I decide to use which paper for which project. So make sure you go check out that vlog as well. But today I'm going to specifically talk about scrapbook paper. So let's go up to my crafting desk where you can see where the mess has been, all the fun has been, and where I've been using some scrapbook paper. So let's go ahead, let's head upstairs and go there. All right, welcome to the studio. We are here. Okay. And so I would not be lying to you if I told you guys that I just have an obsession. I love me some pretty paper. Case in point, let me show you. Hulk of me some paper right here, and there's still more left on the floor, okay? Lots and lots of pretty paper and everything when it comes to gorgeous, like especially vintage papers. That's my love. I'm a shabby vintage loving kind of girl, okay? So today when I say scrapbook paper, I'm talking about these sorts of books that you can get when you're out and about at all different craft places. And if you're like me, you will be drawn to certain designs, right? On the cover, it usually shows you like the papers that are inside the book that give you an idea of the collection of papers, right? And they're all different sorts of designs. You'll find now, if you follow me, you know that I tend to go towards, I love me shabby, I love me old, vintage, time-worn, and I also love me some shabby roses, right? So love to incorporate that on my furniture pieces as well. So, whew, all right. So this is going to be maybe my, let me just give you, let's see, let's do this video into my 3 best tips when it comes to using scrapbook paper and why. So the why, of course, is because maybe, just maybe, you want a pattern on your piece of furniture, right? So all different pieces of furniture, it's nice to have different looks, okay? And so, you know, if you can't paint a shabby rose, if you find it hard to be able to paint a butterfly, all those sorts of things, you can do that. And also to be able to bring it in for ease, for your ease of being able to create a beautiful piece, knowing that you didn't have to learn to draw, case in point, butterflies, right? You can just, you know, it can just work with your piece as is, all right? So number 1, for ease of use for you. For number 2, I think I would definitely incorporate, you know, scrapbook papers because it makes it interesting to your buyer. It makes it interesting to you if you're the end user of a piece to make your piece interesting. Most pieces that get attention drawn to them is because that they, you know, are unique. They're different. They have maybe different textures or different colors, all that sorts of thing that really just draw your eye to look at them, right? And so when you incorporate papers into your projects, paint and pretty papers, as I often say, it's fun, it's beautiful, and you can create, number 3, I guess, for your why, is that you can create a totally unique piece. Not only make it interesting, which was number 2, but a unique piece to you. So I could use full sheets of paper, I could use parts of piece of paper, I could like combine them all together and do like a patchwork, all kinds of things, and really, I mean, just, you know, the world is your oyster. So that's why I like to combine papers to make my pieces look interesting and find papers that match the overall look that I'm trying to achieve with a piece, right? Like the one that you saw downstairs with those shabby roses and the dark black. We used black velvet on that paint. Came out absolutely beautiful. So now on to my top 3 tips for when you're actually applying scrapbook papers to your project, okay? Number 1, I'm gonna say that I always use Mod Podge. I can't believe I have 2 jars of this in my studio, and I kid you not, like each of them are like down here, right? It's like I'm dipping the brush way, way down into it. Mod Podge is my favorite medium to be able to apply scrapbook paper. I always use the matte, M-A-T-T-E, because I'm a shabby style lover and creator, and I know that old time-worn furniture is not shiny, right? It's seen the ages of use, through the ages of time, and so I always go with matte. That's always my go-to, okay? kind of go with Matt for my husband too. Haha, that inside joke. Not inside joke. You guys know who my husband Matt is. What am I saying? I don't know. Anyway, but yeah. Matt spelled with an M-A-T-T. And if he's in the background listening, I'm surprised he doesn't have anything funny to say. But anyway, this is a glue and a finish. So I use this to put it down and also to seal it in, okay? And then I use my banana peel to go on the top of the whole thing, or I can use Monkey Shine if I want to as well. Our products will interact really nicely with that. But use Mod Podge and use it liberally, okay? Meaning that put it all over that sucker, whatever the area of that space is. Because here's the thing, when you talk about, you know, Sonia, why do I get bubbles? One of the reasons why you get bubbles is because maybe you have not put enough of this product down. So, because you need to have enough of it so that when it attracts and it connects with whatever your paper is, your napkins, or in this case your scrapbook paper, you want it to be able to suck it in, okay? So what happens is when paint dries on wood, wood is is porous, it's like a sponge, it sucks it in. You need to make sure you have enough of this medium to pull it in, otherwise parts that where you didn't have enough, you're gonna see bubbles, okay? So use Mod Podge, use a lot of it. My next tip is going to be, is definitely, if you can, at all possible, use smaller pieces versus larger pieces of paper when you're working on a project. A lot of times you'll see me, because I love the patchwork kind of look as well, but it really helps when I, for example, the table, I'll show you guys in just a second, the table that I Mod Podged and did scrapbooking look on the top of it, you'll notice that I use lots of little pieces, torn pieces, which can give you a really interesting look, which I love that already, but I will tell you that when you use smaller pieces, less area to be able to suck down, you have less of a chance of bubbles because you're using smaller pieces and applying that liberally to it versus an overall big piece, which can really show up and really show off more impurities when you're trying to decoupage and glue down your paper. So I like to go with smaller surface areas, or if I'm going to use a bigger area, a lot of times you will see me rip and shred up my paper so that way I can neatly stick this down and then go ahead and stick another one down next to it. You know what I'm saying? So that was my next tip. If you can go with smaller pieces at a time, that's definitely going to help you, all right? On top of that tip, probably I'm gonna say this is like number 3. Maybe there's a 4th tip in here for you guys. I lied. There's a 4th tip in here for you guys. So I'm gonna show you a tool that I use. So what I'm gonna say now is make sure that when you're putting down your papers, this is another tip. So when you're putting down your pieces of paper, don't just like put down your Mod Podge and then drop your paper on top of it and just smooth it all over. Actually, if you're more methodical and you put down liberally your Mod Podge, you put down your piece of paper and you start from the middle out. What happens is when you put that piece of paper down, if there's any air bubbles or any air pockets underneath trapped, you're not pushing it to the center, you're giving it a way to escape. So when I put pieces of paper down, especially paper, right? You guys know I do a different technique when I use my napkin. Go look at me do my live video on Facebook yesterday with that piece I showed you at the beginning of the video how I did this. But when I'm using with like a harder scrapbook paper, I want to make sure I have no bubbles, and so when I put it down, I'm going to smooth from the middle out, all the sides. Use like your middle section of your paper and push it out. Anything is going to be escaping through the edges of your paper, and it's going to help eliminate your bubbles, all right? And number 4, yes, there's number 4. Even though I said there was going to be 3 things, there's really number 4. I'm going to share with you guys a top secret tool that I have found that really helps me, really helps me. Doesn't tear my papers, and I figured out how to use this and use it to my benefit to get nice smooth papers, especially on my painted furniture, or again, when I'm using like larger size bits of paper. Like I said, smaller paper will definitely be easier to handle, but sometimes you just want nice flat paper, and this is going to be this tool right here, okay? I got this at my Dollar Tree for $1. Okay, girl on a budget loves to make things beautiful with beautiful quality tools and not have to break the bank doing it, right? So I have probably, I don't know, maybe 15 to 20 of these that I've purchased over time, and I keep them. I have a lot because at one point I used to do public paint parties. The ladies that come out would turn up the music, and we do all kinds of great creations. And I love to use scrapbook paper as part of that as well, right? It's fun, and they can pick the scrap paper that they like that really just, you know, interests them. But this tool here is one of my top secret things. This is actually a window cleaner, okay? So the reason why it doesn't shred or hurt my paper is because it has a nice soft rubber edge. So if you can find this exact tool or one that's similar, look for the window washing washing section of wherever you are. And then what you want to do is using the same technique as I just told you about before, about starting from the middle and pulling out. That is what I would do. So this is my project right here, my piece of wood. This is my scrapbook paper over the top of it. I start in the middle and I pull it out, and it makes a nice flush connection with it. And basically over the side, I'm gonna see all kinds of it'll glue will pour out here, air bubbles will just be released out through the side, and then I can do a nice wipe, okay? So this tool is my number 4 secret squirrel club. Thanks for watching this video, so you know to get one too, and put it into your craft stash and make use of it as well. Sound good? All right, let me show you a couple projects that I've used with scrapbook paper. And yeah, just to kind of give you some inspiration, right? Because what would a video be without any inspiration? Well, this is an entire disaster right here. Yeah, don't look below the camera. This is still left on my table from yesterday because I've been working on my Smashbook, if you guys have been following me, putting it together, but I am using scrapbook paper. So I did join a scrapbooking club. Oh my gosh, let me find it. It's over here. I've been making use of all the papers lately from them. Let me see if I can find it, guys. Let me see. Let me just wheel my way over here, okay? It is the scrapbookingstore.com. There you go, scrapbookingstore.com. Use JunkMonkey10 to receive 10% off your order, which is awesome. But this is October, as you can see right here, October month, and I forget the one that they had in here, but it was gorgeous. They talk about just beautiful, I feel it was a vintage, they call it vintage something, vintage fall, I can't remember what it was, but it was so awesome. And so anyway, they give you ideas and things like that, but I love the fact that every month for a small fee, which go check it out, and you can see all the different rates there. It's really, really super, super cheap, but you get a beautiful package of all the papers. I did an opening of my papers on Facebook, and I'm still working through all these right here because I'm working on like I said, a Smashbook, right? So you get all kinds of embellishments. A lot of the embellishments I've used, embellishments are things like this that you get, and you get different theme stuff that you're able to use and to make use of, right? So I actually have been using paper. Can you see below this table all the mess that I'm about to clean off? But I'm telling you, this is real life. This is real life right here. But you can see below here that I have actually scrapbooked my table right here. Do you see it? Do you see all this right here? I've used everything from my doilies and things like that, all kinds of things that I like to collect. And so there you go. So my craft table is actually totally decoupage, which is the act of when you shred up all those beautiful papers, and to be able to create something. And a nice stencil with my Jeff Monkey paint on top of it. And I did all kinds of chevron. I got my shabby florals in here, my polka dots, all that beautiful stuff. Look at that. And got a little teal in there too. So I love this. So definitely on furniture would be a great use for it. The next way I love to use papers is to incorporate them into designs that I like to do as well. So you can see right here, this is a little bit of paper right here that I used, right? And so a lot of these, you can see some doilies up here. Look, you can see some newsprint by her shoulder that I used right here. Let me see here. These are just all kinds of, actually this is some papers over here that I used. And so I think another great way to be able to use papers and fun stuff is to incorporate them into your designs that you do and you create, right? So that's a lot of fun. You see this here, a little bit of paper showing right here. So there you go. Definitely into your decor as well when you're doing some mixed media pieces. Oh, and look, there's a pineapple hiding behind a owl right there. Look, do you see that? Look at these gorgeous, gorgeous just papers that you can use. How fun is that? The other great thing that, of course, you can use papers with is more of what a lot of times you think about them. Traditionally, using them into what I call smash books is where you basically smash in just little things that make you happy. Memory, keepsaking book, your journal. It could be an art journal, smash book, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be drawing in here, adding projects that I've done in here, celebrating things like paintings that have gone to other states. And, things that have been happening around my business. This is kind of what a project that I'm working on right now, which is getting my pictures out of my phone and into a book to be able to look back on, right? And so here's that table. There's a better view of that table. This is one of the projects that I did this month, of course. There you go. We did the door. There's Kate, my helper here, my right-hand girl, True story. Follow your heart, right? Just be you. So anyway, having fun with that. I'm going to continue to complete that, complete this book here. So make sure you're following me on Facebook and here on YouTube if you want to see as I go ahead and work on all these pages. But this is another great way to be able to use pretty papers, right? So this is why it's so fun to be part of that scrapbooking monthly club that I told you about. Every month they deliver scrapbook papers to your door, and this is the layout that I did live on Facebook. But yeah, every month there's a theme, so how fun is that? Use Junk Bucket 10 and get in with us, and you're able to create with us, and you'll probably end up with the same papers that I have as well. All right, so hopefully those tips were really, really useful for you guys, and make sure you follow along as we use pretty papers and paint, the power of paint, baby, to make some things beautiful, make the world beautiful, and make your home beautiful, your four corners of the world. And I love the fact that we're coming upon winter season right now, which means that as the evenings get darker this weekend, I think time goes back. Share, right? I'm thinking share, turn back time, right? Spring ahead, fall back. I think that's how it goes. So anyway, I'm looking forward to getting into working on my Smash book, working on lots of decor, and having lots of fun, because at the end of the day, I think that paint therapy, creative therapy, it's like therapy that nourishes the soul. So thank you guys for being here, and watch me again Friday when I will do another vlog upload behind the scenes here at the Junk Monkey, taking your questions, talking about something that you guys have been asking me for my help with. All right, take care. Bye.